Good morning, Ken.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Good time on you.
Um, Thank God I'm all right. Nice to hear you.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Yes. Yeah. I got this man, Lord. He says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish but have the everlasting life. But I will come before you this morning to tell you thank you for sparing life and mercies, keeping and abiding grace. In the land of the living, we have not cut off and gone. We giving you thanks and praise. Father, we thank you, put us to bed. We thank you, waking us up, and we thank you for even all those who cannot say thank you, Lord. They give us special thanks for each and every one of them. Country I bring before you this morning, remember Grenada, Carrico, Timatney. But I remember the whole world is in your hand this morning, blessed Lord. You are the maker of each and every one of us. We ask in you, Lord, joy you cut in and give us a fat deep down. Drop off every bending sign and do for us, Lord, what we cannot do for ourselves. We are the rock in the weary land. You are the one to shelter our children in the time of storm. But God, we depend on you to do our body good this our Lord. Remember, Grenada, I bring before you Carrico and Picky Matney. But I remember the world is in your hand. But I look over all you children, the sick and afflicted one, those that cannot help themselves. Those on the bed of affliction, those preparing themselves for the operation table. Father God, be with them and stay with them safe arrival. Those that cannot do anything, those that have nothing to eat and to drink, provide for them this morning, blessed Lord. Oh God, the nurses and the doctors. But I remember all the workers in the hospital this hour, Lord, those what need you, Lord, and those what don't know you, Lord. Let them get to know you this hour, blessed Lord. But I remember all drivers here and everywhere. Remember all those, Lord, on the bed again of affliction. Remember those in the mental, in the psychiatry, the rich man home. Remember the prison. Remember all different homes, Lord. But are the homes I bring before you for the aged one. Put marks in your Lord to pass by the prison. Remember the young and tender plan. Remember them in a mark and special way. But are the image in the prison, Lord, do for them what they cannot do for themselves. Keep them on praying ground and even on watchful storms. Help them to pray and pray their life away this hour, blessed Lord. Remember them this hour, blessed Lord. Remember all those that lost the loved one. Reach out and touch them this morning, blessed Lord. Father God, what could I tell you what you don't know about your children? We are your sheep in the pasture, and each and every one of us by our different voices. Oh God, the Prime Minister, I bring before you. Remember in ministers this our Lord. Remember the opposition party, Lord. Remember the ministers. But oh God, and our Father, joy you cut in. Give them a flip down. Stop them of every bending sign and do for them. But they cannot do for themselves and keep them on praying ground. This our blessed Lord. This morning, Master, I bring Jester before you, this our Lord. Thanking you for living human safe arrival for him. Pass by home he left behind. Each and every one of them in that home provide for them this hour, blessed Lord. Remember, CJ, I bring before you this hour, Lord. For that she whom she left behind. For guide and protect her this hour, Lord. But I remember that I don't be so pleased. As my Shimora this hour, blessed Lord. Learn how the room of salvation to strip and to strip it clean this hour, Lord. Find the act of safety this hour, Master. Pass by the bed she lying upon, you know it better than I do. You know it by name and you know you have by she number. Strip it this hour, Lord. Give her the help, Lord. Give her the strength. Help her to endure. Help her to wrestle like Jacob in the hole and never to let go until you bless you with in soul. This our blessed Lord. Remember the outwing of CJ body. Wheresoever they look it, Lord. You are the close to you, Jesus. Guide and protect them. Ready station. I do learn by man by number, but reach out and touch each and every one of them. Whether they allow you children, they allow you sheep in the pasture. Reach out and touch both male and female, they are in your hand. Provide for them, guide them, this our Lord, my God and my King. Jesus, I know your ears is not deaf to hear me when I call in your Lord. Neither your eyes is not blind to give me a peep down below. Your feet is not to shut to make all you children have the way. This our blessed Lord, my God and my King. Bless the top to the bottom, Lord. Bless all you children, Lord. All you grandchildren, this our Lord, my God and my King. Not forgetting the school children. Pass by the schoolhouse. Reach out and touch them, Lord. Educate them for yourself. Give them the brain of Christians that they able to read and write and to understand what they write and what they read. This our blessed Lord, my God and my King. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in the green pasture. He leadeth me beside still water, restore my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk to the valley to the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. But thou art made a rod and thy staff to comfort me. Thou prepare my table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointest my head, my cup and it's over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen and amen, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Well, have a good day.
Yes,
All right.
thank you so
Okay.
much for that wonderful.
Uh,
Thank you.
yes. All the best.
Thank you.
Same to you. Yes.
So, folks, there we had it. What are we to start? We always believe for anything to go good, we must be guided by the acknowledgement of the Almighty, and we thank Ken so very much for leading that chart. So, to all the Take Five family members, I say a very special good morning to you. Today it's Tuesday, the 24th of March, 2026. And of course, we have another interesting topic lined up for you as regards to our mental health show. So I just like to acknowledge my co-host. Claire, special good morning to you, man.
Good morning, and how are you?
I'm good. You're singing bright and lovely.
I bathe.
Yeah, you look like a rose, man.
uh, it's starting to be warm, so I'm in my element.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
spring has sprung.
I love that. Well, anyhow, without any further ado, let me give you the opportunity to shout out your peeps, and then I'll follow through with you, and then we have a little chit chat, and then we'll get right into our topic.
Thank you. Good morning to JG. I know this time she's across the seas. Hope all you're doing well. Faithlin Holly Douglas, Bernadette Abraham, Coffee in the Morning, Daphne Dayton family out there in Toronto, the Hill Street people. And let me say good morning to Celia, especially because she had the day that she came into the world kicking and screaming on Friday. Friday gone. And let me
Right,
say good
about that.
morning to
Sure, she
the
don't want people to know that.
let me say good morning to the Glean family. Olavachi Bongiorno. NP, good morning. Lorna Bain, Mary Mitchell, it is Chance Gamer 97 in Toronto. Good morning to you, Mr. Nicholas Snag. Kenro, good morning again. Okay, let me see if I say Chester Bandy David. I got it right, Jester, yeah?
Yes,
All
Chester Bandy
right.
David.
Pat Pan family, good morning. William Pear, SBW. Good morning to Buddy. You're out there in the, let me see, Big Band country. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Kathleen Ledler, good morning to you. Roya Charles Alexander. Antonia Francois. Gloria Francois. Antonia Dubois, which is Wifey Dubois. Aita, good morning. Ted, Bushes, Justin Tutman. Wendy out there, well, she's supposed to be in Toronto, but now she's on Spice Island. Good morning to you. Good morning to the university
Wendy,
under there.
Cashew Tree.
There you go. Carol Belfon, good morning. Sherry Belfon, good morning. Nikki Sylvester, um, Again, today is Tuesday. Nikki is having the funeral of her mother-in-law, which is Sugar's sister. The funeral is going to be today, Jester. Good
Oh,
morning to the Elite
yeah.
Warriors. Silverlane, Kareen, Ruth, Petra, Nikki. Well, I'm Buddy. Let me see who else. Joan, JG, and all the little Elite Warriors. Good morning to you guys. And I think I've come to the end of my good morning, and Jester is up to you now.
Okay, Claire. So let me take the opportunity to say good morning to, excuse me, Leslie Nicholas and his wife out there, Gordon Bushes Richardson, Wayne Ted John, Alistair Aito Dubois, Andy Moose Bartholomew, um, oh, to the Glean's family, but Claire, Mrs. Glean is here. I
Oh,
saw her on
really?
Sunday.
Well, say hello for
Yeah,
me.
so yes, I definitely will. She is for a few days, so I
Hmm.
have to pass and check her out. Um, well, you already shout out Justin Tudman, but I'll make mention of he and his wife and Blue as well. I didn't even mention Blue.
Bluetooth man.
To Claire in Maho, to Miss Gladys out there in Madiz. Oh, Michelle, godchild out there in Riverside. Yeah,
Kathy in
very
London.
interesting. Yes, yes. Yeah, Kathy in London. Trisha out there in St. David's. Who else did I miss?
I don't know.
I
It's not
can't
my
think for
peeps.
now. But if I remember anyone that I missed out later on, I definitely shout them up, you
Then
know.
check the
So
check the live and see who is there.
on the live, no, I'm not seeing anything much on the live at the moment.
Oh, on the live we have
You know.
Lorna Bain in Toronto. We had Fifth and Holly Douglas. We have Chance the Gamer 97. So they are on
Okay.
live.
Yeah, chance to get yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, okay. So, Claire, what's the vibe? What's up? What's up?
Um, a lot of tough stuff is up, but I refuse to talk about it because a lot of them upset me, so I'm just leaving it alone.
Oh, yeah?
Hmm.
Girl, when you think to empty from on your stomach, you
No, no,
should,
no.
you know.
Don't
Don't let
worry.
it stay there and pile up and give you
You're not
impulse
piling up.
sign.
And you just tell me I'm looking good? Does that mean you're not piling up?
Yeah. Um, well, we just had the completion of Intercall.
Jester,
That was
Jester,
completed.
Jester, turn
Eh?
your mic up a bit. Just a bit. It's
Yeah, man.
sounding low. It's coming across low.
Can you hear me any better?
You're too loud now, I think, because you're echoing. Uh,
Is that any better
well,
now? No?
let Dugo tell me. Good morning to you, Dugo. Hope all is well.
Hold on, Claire. Let me see if we get this thing right. So hold on. Just is that any better?
Yeah, it's better, but
Is,
okay. Go
are you
ahead.
still hearing me low?
You're echoing. Just turn it down just a wee bit. Let's see.
Tell me.
You could work with that. I'm going to wait
Oh
for Dugo's
gosh.
command.
Ah, yeah.
So yes, you
Yeah,
had
so
intercall.
yeah, Intercall was a
This one I
resounding
can talk about
success.
because let me
Yeah,
tell you, SAS has defeated the people in the city. You know, both boys and girls. The
Claire,
comedybomb.com. I don't care what
you
you
don't
say, I don't
want
want to
to
hear.
you don't want to offend too much of people in such a way.
What you mean?
Many congratulations to SAS for setting something that is unprecedented, actually. They've been the first secondary school to capture both the boys and girls championship in
Mm-hmm.
um one
One,
season.
yes.
Yeah, so congratulations to them. Um, but There are a number of other schools. I must say hats off to them. Schools like Boca Secondary, McDonald College,
Mm-hmm.
St. John's Christian Secondary, St. Matt's, GBSS, PBC,
Well, just say all the
schools like,
schools.
yeah, no, that is just, that comes to the kind of forefront.
Okay.
Hillsborough from, from
Karaoke.
Carriacou,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And there are a number of record-breaking performances this year. So now, Claire, now that we have crossed that path of intercall, we now look forward to our Carista Games, which will be staged over the Easter weekend, actually from the 4th to the 6th of April.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect that the Grenada team performing um, in Bagdo to be doing very, very well. Gent of 71 athletes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
To so we would like to wish the Grenada team the very, very best. And so too, I encourage the Grenadian public to go out and support our athletes. I definitely believe athletes rise in Grenada, Claire.
Okay.
Because I look at the length of line from since minutes to 7 on the final day of Intercom, which was last week, Thursday. I mean, this was just so amazing. I tell you so,
I
So
understand that
that's it.
the
Yeah, go
first
on.
2 days was sort of mediocre in attendance.
Yes. And the thing is, it doesn't matter what they try, people are just set in their own ways, in their own pattern, that the Thursday is what they really, is the day they really look forward to, and
Mm-hmm.
that continues. Because if you realize on the first 2 days, they give an incentive whereby the cost of the ticket is so far cheaper.
Your mic is screeching.
I don't know why
Mm-hmm.
that is happening, or that wasn't happening at all.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, yeah, so I don't know why that.
Turn down your volume a bit and see. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Claire, you heard me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Great. So yeah, I was making the point.
On the last day of the games.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People just said that the last day, that is when they
Well,
really
that's
get
what
it
the
turning
action
out.
is.
When
I
it's,
would do the same thing.
yeah, I don't know what, but all the days they have very interesting races line up on all the days. For example, you have relays on all the days except on a Thursday. It ends with the 4x4. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Uh,
That's just the way it is. Some
yeah.
things will
So the
never
football continue
change.
at Rose Hill, Claire. The football continue at Rose Hill. We must
Mm-hmm.
pick up the football at Rose Hill under the lights. In fact, this week they have games up to Thursday. There will be no game on Friday because Silky Don's mom is burying on that day, and Silky Don is the one what usually provide the song system. So
Okay.
we give him that sort of respect on Friday, please God, and with the burial of his mom. And yeah, so there will be no games on Friday, please God. Games will be resumed on Saturday, God's will, Saturday evening.
Okay.
Yes, what else? What else can I tell you? Except you have something else to say before we dive into our topic. And if no other thing, I give you the opportunity to let the people know what's going on with regards to our topic this morning.
Well, this morning, as you know, the military is out there, and most times, 99.9% is men you hear are in the military. But for the past couple of years, or a few years ago, women has challenged that, and then we have women in the military. Now, today we are talking about how that impact them and their children mentally, like families that are impacted. So we have the military in Grenada also, although people don't look at it as the military because we are in a small country. but we have women in the RGPF, we have women in the SSU, we have women in the what we have again besides the RGPF and the SSU and the RRU. I'm not
Yeah,
sure about the
the
RRU.
Coast Guard,
We have women in the Coast Guard, and so on. We have women in the military, and based on
women in
this
the
research that we
prisons.
did, um, it is not a. It's not. They're not having an easy time at being in the military or in the police force or wherever, whatever military as a woman. Now they face sexual harassment, they face discrimination, they face all sorts of things that the men do not go through. So I'm going to start with.
And without cutting you the clear, as you speak about sexual harassment, I was listening to the Attorney General on news just a couple nights ago, and they are about to create. Grenada never had an act when it comes to sexual harassment on the job in the
Mhm,
workplaces, and
mhm.
they're about to draft up one. And I think that is a really good thing, because
Yeah.
you know it's different for you all out there in Canada, right? I know places like Canada and other international countries that they do have that in effect,
Yes,
sexual
because there are
harassment
women in the
on the job.
military. And as a matter of fact, any workplace that you are in, you face sexual harassment. But today we are talking about the military and women.
Yeah.
And Lorna just made a comment. She said it was a great intercall. I followed it 3 days, cheering on AHS Anglican High School. You know that, right? And the GBSS.
Yes,
That's
Tanking
congratulations to all
bullets.
the winners.
Yeah, the combination of both, they term them as Tantin bullets.
But she was at both, you see, Anglican High School and then she taught at GBSS, I think.
Okay.
So she has close ties with those schools. So yes. So as I said, any job that you're into, you will find sexual harassment. And it has been something that has been going on and it's getting worse as the time goes by because there's some jobs that men believe women should not be a part of. So when you enter that realm, you take what you get. So we know that in I don't know if I well let me say it as I see it. In the RGPF, in the SSU, in the whatever we have in the as a military in Grenada, women are in those fields also. And they too face sexual harassment. And it has come to the forefront that if you are not um, if you are not giving up the cookie, then you won't get baked. That means you won't get promotion. Or you may not get it the time that you need to get it or you deserve it. You will be bypassed because
Yeah.
obviously you are not giving up the cookie because that is not your aim to be in the military. You are there to do your job and you should be able to do it freely with the best of your ability without having to give yourself up for it.
Yeah. And as a result of that, some women are being pressured, they are being stifled by men that are in like top position and realize that is not the case, that is not happening for them. Like as you say, women don't prepare to just give up their cookies like that for a position, for a better position. So then what you find happening is that these people that are in the top position, they tend to really grind down on them. And that is just so sad.
It is a sad thing. Unfortunately, this is what happens in the world of where men rules and women decide to take a step into that world. So today we are going to be talking about the women in the military and most likely the US military because that is the closest thing to us. So it says for more than 7 decades, beginning with the landmark in 1948 Act that granted women permanent status in the armed forces, the slow, hard climb of women into the military leadership has been a defining equality milestone. Today, that progress is suddenly at risk. And here's the point that tells you that the what women face being in the military or the armed forces. The recent ousting of a decorated female officer who was to lead a U.S. SEAL team from a historic command post is not an isolated event, but part of a broader trend reflecting gender bias, cultural resistance, and institutional backsliding across elite military circles. Here is the point. 2 weeks before she was set to make history as the first woman to lead a naval special warfare command, the unit that oversees SEAL Team 6, a decorated Navy captain, orders were abruptly revoked. No public explanation, no paper trail, just a phone call from the top. For women in uniform, it felt like deja vu, a reminder that hard won progress can disappear overnight. So think about it, Jester. A woman, US SEAL team. She has what it takes. She has it all. But just on the brink of making history, it was yanked away from her with no explanation, no nothing, just a phone call saying, you are not going to be doing that. So you see the pressure that women face in the military.
Yeah. I mean, that must have been an unraveling situation for her whole inside. I mean, that is not easy to deal with.
I mean, we are not in the army. I'm talking about human. We as normal people are not in the army, and things less than that happens to us, and it has a great impact on us
Yeah, rippling
mentally,
effect.
physically, emotionally. So think about her. She worked all her life. She got through the ranks and everything, and to make it just there, and it was yanked away from her at the last moment. So that's only tells you how women are treated in the military and the impact it can have on them mentally. So, the mental health of women in the military is significantly influenced by their service. The stresses they face, such as combat stress, minority status, military sexual violence, divorce, and parenting, can lead to high levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. These challenges are compounded by their roles as caregivers, which can result in low energy, less patience, and family discord. The impact of these roles on the family members is profound. They can often hide their distress from their families due to the distinct roles they play in and out of the military. This situation highlights the need for better support services for U.S. veteran support and recognition of the unique health challenges faced by female military officers. So again we see they have their family to take care of, but even things that are going on with them in the military while they are on duty or deployed put even a bigger strain on them.
Yeah. So, Claire, but as you state, almost anything that women are involved in, they come under pressure. And one of the things that we have identified is sexual harassment. Be- That one is actually glaring, and not just that. Again, some men just feel that a woman there are just certain position that a woman should not attain. It doesn't matter what they they will forget whether the woman have worked hard to earn the position, but they just feel that a woman should not be earning that position, and I certainly don't understand why.
You
But I
know,
believe, although
mhm.
it must be going on at a lesser state or extent now, I believe women from over the decades would have break through quite a lot of barriers. And I'm saying that based on what I've seen happening in our society today. Women are great achievers in our society. I'm telling you that. When you take a look around town and you see some of the biggest rides that have been driven around the place, when you see some of the jobs that have been fulfilled by women, when you take a look at, especially, for example, a learning institution, we're seeing in some institution, 95% is been filled with female teachers. Um, just take a look around. So no matter what, you really cannot stop women in today's world.
Yes, I understand exactly what you're talking about. But you never know what they have to go through to achieve what they're achieving right now, because you and I well know that there are women that we speak to, especially in the armed forces, as I mentioned
Right.
earlier, that they are, let me see how to put that now. They're approached to sleep with the higher ups in order for them to make progress in the position that they want to be in, and that cannot be right. Because I'm looking at it as, you're looking at me. I am doing my job to the best of my ability, but you're putting my job at risk by saying that if you want to get a bit higher position or more pay, then you can sleep with me and then I'll make that happen for you. When you are allowed to make it happen for yourself because of the job that you know you're capable of doing.
I understand fully what you're saying. Claire, before we continue, let me just go to the live and say good morning to Cabrino Phillips, saying good morning. Also,
Yeah, that's
Hilarious
Celia.
Gunpot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Mackenzie is there saying good morning as well. Good morning to your good folks joining us here
Thank
on
you,
the
thank you,
Mental
thank
Health
you.
Show.
So,
Yes,
so
Claire.
as we're saying, I don't think that it is a right thing for we as women to have to sell our bodies, sell ourselves to make it big into whatever profession that we are in. And the
I
military is no
agree.
exception.
But the thing is, what I think is really, really bad is that when somebody in a higher position and trying to elevate, right, a subordinate, like if it may be a woman, so it's a man in a top position, is when they come with the bribery. That's the bad thing. But I believe if they see a lady and that they are interested enough wanting to form a relationship and they go through the normal procedure, to me, what do you think? To me, if that should be all right. I don't think I don't see anything wrong with that. To me, what I'm seeing the problem with, which really makes it look as if it's sexual harassment, is when you will offer a bribe, right, to go to get involved or slip with your female subordinate. What are your thoughts?
You asking me that? I just explained what
Yeah,
it is. Because I
asking.
said it's wrong on all counts. Now that's why a lot of companies are not saying that you should get involved. They are saying that you should not get involved with people in the same workplace because it's not good for business for one. And when the relationship doesn't go right, it goes south, all kind of head takes place. But if you are in the outside, and you have a relationship, and then both of you enter that job as a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, that's a whole different story. So you wouldn't have to come for me to give you my cookie for me to get a promotion because we are in that. But the higher ups that I have nothing to do with, we are not friends, we are not nothing, but they see me as an attractive female in the position that I am in their under their watch. Then they approach me and say, Claire, you have some potential, but for you to get there faster, you got to give me something. Heck no.
But Claire, that is a topic we will have to deal with on its own relationship within the same under the same company. Because I kind of tend to differ with that. It depends to where do you draw the lines. But anyhow, as I said, that's a topic we'll have to deal with
Yep,
on its
yep.
own on our show.
So the next point is female soldiers twice as likely to be diagnosed with mental health conditions in theater than males, study finds. And you wondering why? We shouldn't wonder why. Because for the pressure that they face being a soldier among men, and the pressure that they face on a daily basis, that is enough to send anybody mentally off. So it says mental health is a significant concern for female service members. Many experience post traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD, and other mental challenges, often exacerbated by experiences of military sexual trauma, which is MST. Statistics indicate that approximately that 1 in 3 female service members report experiencing military sexual trauma during their service, contributing to higher rates of mental health issues among women compared to men. Again, it is showing us that women are not allowed not allowed, but should not be in the military among men.
Yeah,
Yes, this is what it's
boy,
saying there, because it's saying that if you want to be there, then you got to play the game.
interesting. Because watch, be clear at the same time too, right? Being in the military could be very, very stressful, not just for the woman, but also for the man.
Yes, I know that.
And who knows? Let's be, I mean,
But
realistic
mm-hmm.
from a human standpoint. Maybe they might think at the end of it all, sex might just be a point of relieving some of the stress. Who knows?
Okay,
I'm just
Jester.
saying, just playing
Okay,
devil's
Justin.
advocate
Well, let
here.
me let me let me let me play the devil in myself now. So you're thinking that sex might be a way to relieve whatever they are going through, right?
Yes, that might
There
very
is a
well be.
way of coming to somebody, coming to a woman, and put yourself forward and say, "Hey, I've been looking at you, and I think that we could go into something. At least you come and you talk about it. But when you make those crude comments when a woman passes by, that is not saying that, oh, I want to have a relationship with you, oh, I need relief from you. So it's like putting you down that you should not be among men. There are men in the military that will walk butt naked in front of a woman just to prove that you are not belonging here.
But clear watch.
Don't
What
walk me
I'm
about
saying
nothing.
to you, remember, right? These people and them go into the military. In some instances, leaving a family behind. You understand what I'm saying?
Most of them do.
Right. So they don't necessarily want to get into any serious relationship. They
But I don't
just
think, but the
want
thing is, I think you're
that
missing
form
the
of
point.
relief.
It is not about having relationship that they're going through the stress for. It's saying sexual harassment on women in the military. Do you know what sexual harassment is compared to somebody wanting to have a relationship with you, with me?
But who knows? Sometimes you come in the proper form and they still consider it to be sexual harassment, Claire.
I don't think you know what sexual harassment is.
Well, I sexual at the end of the day is how somebody might interpret it. Some might okay. I might go to somebody. I might be in the workplace, and right. Let's say a female is passing, and I say, "Oh, girl, the background looking good. I feel like that might be a form of harassment.
That
Yes,
is
in that
sexual
way.
harassment in the
And
first
next,
place.
right? What is sexual harassment?
What you just said there.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? I don't understand.
Yeah, you say you see
Repeat.
a girl pass and you see a girl that
Yeah.
looking good, and so if she's not your friend, and you see a person, that is sexual harassment because she's not
Well,
your
that's what I'm
friend.
saying. So I tell you, in that form, I admit that's a form of sexual harassment
Mm-hmm.
in that approach. Now, the next time I see someone else, and we all in in the same institution, and I approach her in a nice way. I say, "Hi, I've been looking at you for the longest while. I realize you're looking really nice and attractive. I believe it's overcoming of me now not to tell you something how much I feel about you. I can go that nice approach, and yet still that person consider me sexually harassing.
Okay, I'm going to read something to you. Sexual harassment is any unwelcome behavior of a verbal or physical nature that is directed at a person in the workplace due to his or her gender. Sexual harassment can include any of the following: vulgar jokes, inappropriate verbal statements about somebody's clothing, looks, or sexual history, groping, hugging, kissing, fondling, on other inappropriate physical contact, emails, letters, and memos with sexual content, offensive or lewd photos, pictures, and drawing, repeatedly asking someone for a date, promising benefits, a raise, promotions, or other achievement in exchange for sexual favors. Did you get it? That is
But you
sexual
put
harassment.
what the key thing comes at the end
No, the key
for
thing come is
sexual
unwelcome.
favors.
Unwelcome. I did not say to you that Jester, I like you, or Jester, we could have something. We are not friends.
So, so what it boils down to, you have to be friends.
What?
Because I even hear you
Listen,
mention the wanting to go on date. So what's so wrong if you have somebody to go on a date? Is that so that considered to be, if you approach them in a nice way, you consider to be sexual harassment?
listen. Sometimes you passing on the street, Jester, or as a woman, I'm passing on the street, and somebody said to me, "Girl, you look good, yes. I wish I could do this to you." That is sexual harassment because you and I are not friends. I don't know who you are. You don't know me,
Well, in
right?
such a way,
And that
I can
happens on a
understand that.
regular basis. And the military is no different for women because, as you said, there are men in the military that tell themselves that a woman do not belong in that field. So they're going to do and say anything to them to make them leave because it's a man's world.
Anyhow, so hold that right there. We'll take a commercial break at this moment,
Mhm.
and I'll be coming right back at you, right just where it's very interesting. With CJ Jester, talking truth and 15 pressure.
Grenada, get ready as Idol City Sports presents its sixth annual football ice competition. Roselle Plainfield in St. Patrick kicks off from Sunday, February 15th and ends on Saturday, 2nd May. Get ready for intense football competition. All teams will be able to register 20 players. Players must be in uniform and numbered. Registration fee, senior $400. Under 17 enters free. Cash prizes up for grabs. First place winner in the senior category will walk away with $4,000. And the first place winner in the under 17 category walks away with $1,800. Second place, $3,000. And under 17, $1,500. Individual prizes. Who will dethrone the defending champion? Church now. All under the lights. For more information, contact Redhead at 538-7509 or Philip 406-9580. No unauthorized vending allowed. Single game will be played on Wednesdays from 6:30 p.m. and double-header games on the weekend.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463. Or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. We Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions.
Oh, you're looking for that one local supermarket where you can purchase all your grocery and household items at the same time? Well, look no further. Smart Buy SA Belfon and Company Limited, located at the top of the town on Main Street Hotel St. Patrick, is the ideal spot. They're open Sunday to Sunday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturdays, and 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Sundays, just for your convenience. Call them today on 442-9219. That number again, 442-9219. We're shopping snacks at Snap.
At Sugar's Repair Services, we offer digitally calibrated machines, resurfacing engine heads, general machinery. Show us your pattern and we'll make it with precision machines. At Sugar's Repair Services, we satisfy your needs. Just ask and it will be done. Call us at 473-418-1855.
Your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to this Take 5 program for yet another Tuesday. Indeed, very interesting topic. We are looking at how the involvement of females in the military impact on the families. So let me rejoin my co-commentator.
I'm into
CJ.
sports, so go ahead.
Look, I'm so good. I say my co-host, sorry. Maybe I'm thinking I'm still in the stadium.
Maybe. So, it says female U.S. Army soldiers were diagnosed with a mental health condition at more than twice the rate of male troops while deployed to a combat theater, and they exceed the rate for males for all 12 of the mental health categories examined, a new study has found. From 2008 to 2013, a period selected for the study because of its high operations tempo, female troops who were deployed consistently had higher rates than their male counterparts for mental health diagnoses that included stress and adjustment disorders, depression, anxiety, sleep issues, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, according to the research published by the Armed Forces Health Surveillance Division. So besides living a family or that and go to war, they have to face the sexual harassment and discrimination from their male counterparts. Hence the reason why they're going through all of this as we are reading right now. And it is not something simple, because sooner or later they will say, okay, you're not fit to be in the army because you cannot cope with the things that you have to. But they're not, they're the one that is putting it on us and not admitting that they are doing that.
So Clement, let me ask you this, because there are many women in the military. So for those that stay stayed on, do you think it's a case whereby
They have nerves of
they
steel for
fall
one,
they
or they
fall
give up the
victim
cookie.
of? That's what I'm asking. That is exactly that is exactly what I'm asking.
Yeah, it's either they have nerves of steel and say to themselves, like, if I were in the army, maybe I would say to hell with you. I am going to stay there and prove that I belong here, right? Some of them may do that. And some may break because of the pressures that they are going through and do not want to go through that again, and they want to stay in the army, so they gave up the cookie. Two ways. But I
Hmm.
don't think that women in the military or wherever should not be placed under pressure to do the things that they do not want to do just to be promoted or just to feel safe where they work. I don't think
Okay,
that's right.
Claire, before we continue, let me just give out my telephone number, 4041189. That's the digit you can hit so you can be part of the conversation. And please feel free to do so.
And remember to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to do more of what we are doing. This is the stresses of life, part 2. Women in the military and the mental impact on the family. Next week, we'll have stresses of life, part 3. Yeah. So just as you see, it says here, the authors theorize that their findings may indicate that deployed female soldiers may actually have more mental health problems than males, with the effect of combat, family separation, sexual assault, or harassment playing more of a role. But they also said healthcare providers may be more likely to diagnose a female service member with psychiatric disorder as a result of sex based biases. And this is the crux of the matter here: the sexual harassment, the sex based biases. This causes us as women to have more mental issues than to combat itself, because they know they're going to a place of war, they are being deployed because they have to go do their job, but they want to go do their job knowing that they'll be treated fairly and not to be sexually harassed or anything of that sort.
Claire, the thing
Yes.
about it, and you always hear Mr. Pierce say, men are hunters.
And women are praised. But this is, yes, it may seem so, but if you're let me
But
tell you
if
something. If your life depend on you being saved by the job that you ought to do, and being sexually harassed, you're in for that. Because with all that going on, and you have to go fight on the front line, knowing that the partner behind you may not have your back, or if he have your back, you're telling you something like, you and see that place is not for you, this place is for men. You lose your concentration, you go sighted mentally, and you end up in a box.
but I am just saying here, right? Because women are the more vulnerable of the two sexes. Women tend to become more frightened of certain situations. So sometimes, based on certain operations that they have to go through, and Maybe they just don't have the belly. Sometimes they end up in a man arms for comfort, and you just never know what happened from there on to again, Clay. So
It takes a
I
man
try
to
to
say
just
that.
let me look at the thing from a very realistic point of view now.
I am being realistic.
You
I
understand what
am.
I'm saying?
No,
And
I
sometimes
don't
it just
understand what
happens
you're
just
saying.
naturally as a result, sometimes without
Okay,
any plans or any intention.
listen.
This thing is a funny
Human
thing.
human nature is a not a puzzle. It's not men go after women on any given day. We are talking about the women that go into the military to serve the country, as they say, to protect the people of the country. Even the same men that are in the military, they're protecting them also because they are working. They go there for that, right? So tell me, why is it that I'm getting paid to do the job that I applied for and being harassed to do that job, so that I have to be mentally disabled, I have to be anxious, because they too, as hard as what I'm going to say may sound, but maybe the same men might take all the women as friendly fire because they don't want them in there.
Okay, let me tell you something, right?
I'm listening.
There, before people get into certain jobs, they must know what it entails. So I'm telling you that. So, for example, females that go into the military, they know at some point in time within their career, being in the military, they may have to go to war. And
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Sometimes they go to war and they may be captured.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? When they are being captured, you know what is likely
That
to end up
okay.
happening when they are
I,
being
I
captured?
am I'm happy that you said that. That is a completely different story. Being a prisoner of war. When you're captured, as they say, sometimes you will get people rape you. Those captives, they rape you. They do all kind of things because you are fighting against their country. But we are talking today about the women that is in the same military with the men, the same platoon, the same whatever, and are being sexually harassed or sometimes even raped in the army that they are in. So being captured, any number play when you're being captured. But when you're in the same place with the people that are supposed to protect you, sexually harassing you, that is a whole different ball game. So don't come and tell me that.
In the
And
army, I think
sometimes
that number thing drop.
they take advantage of the vulnerability of women, as you say, we are vulnerable, and that's why sometimes women take it up front and cut out the penis and give them a bob it because of what they go through with their fellow soldiers in the army, and when they come back into the normal workforce and a man is trying to do the same thing to them, they take the offense and they maim him or do something. Simple
But
as that.
apart from the harassment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me just go a little past the harassment. I know the emphasis and the focus is on the harassment, but I can see certain things happening sexually, kind of naturally.
Eh, you again with that?
I could see that happening too.
But
I just
okay,
I just I just
listen.
mentioning it for what it's worth.
If you are a single soldier, female in an army, chances are you find your mate in there just the same way too, because you all fight together. You all are in the same area, the same zone, the same platoon. Things may happen. I'm not saying no, but the general thing that I'm talking about is the sexual harassment that they face on a daily basis because they are women in the military. It's like saying you do not belong here. So let me ask you the question: do you believe that women belong in the military?
Of course, I believe a woman belongs wherever she feels she can. According to it, there is a ad wherever the road leads, wherever the road leads, she see that it can take her right there. I mean, there's a choice that she makes on her own.
Okay. So if
So
I
she
so
has
if
that
I
right.
so if I'm a woman in the military, and you are male, how do you see me?
Why you can't?
And answer the question.
Why me know do I see you?
How do I
Yeah.
see me? Do you see me as somebody too that you could make sexual advances on, or something that you could protect because I'm a
I
woman?
can stay. I don't know how to. I don't in this situation, but you just never know. That are difficult question for me to answer.
It's not so difficult at all.
That a
Because
difficult question for me to answer.
if you accept me as being part of your platoon or your thing, you should look at me as I'm the protector. I'm going to protect Claire because she's in the same way. She's a woman. Maybe she might not be as strong as me, but no.
Yeah, but sometimes you're using the example, I thinking like I never know you. If it's a case where I never know you, thing might be different. In a case like that, if you're using it like or like knowing you as one know you know, and we both in a situation now, it could be a different thing. But if I never know you,
Okay, so if you never know me and you see danger coming my way, you let me dead.
no, I
I'm
don't
just
say that.
asking.
I no,
Because you said you
no.
don't know me.
Mm, well, yeah, but that was I was saying. So because I didn't know you on them kind of levels, who knows? Sometimes I might look to make some kind of advancement.
You're a real DOG. A real one. But let me tell you, when you go to war, I don't think there is any inkling of anybody finding space to go and interfere a soldier, a female, or whatever it is, because they're in the hot zone. Take for example what is going on right now in the Middle East, and American soldiers might be deployed on ground. You think they have time to say, well, let me have a relationship because I need relief or I need something, because they are on the hot seat. Any moment something could come at them. And that's where I think that women need protection from from danger, instead of making it look as though I do not belong in, I do not belong there.
What's wrong with you? Your time there are some silent moments within the war, and you're doing as if a
And
sexual intercourse takes hours.
I
It can
wouldn't
take
know.
5 minutes.
I wouldn't know.
So
I
it
wouldn't
could
know.
even take them
I was never in the army.
I just being realistic. A lot of people might find me really kind of there. That's just I just did it that way.
You are a piece of work, you know that, right? And the funny thing, just here, a comment somebody made. What makes it
Yeah.
worse is when the crime is reported, the woman becomes the one who is asked to suck it up and move on. And that is something that is really, really bad. Because on top of you being sexually harassed, you go to report it because it's not something that you'll ask for, not something that you like. But the powers that be themselves, because they do not want women in their field, make it look as though you asked for it. So suck it up and move on.
Well, I don't think at this stage in life now they can say that they don't want women in that field. That has
Well,
long gone
they're
past
not at this
probably.
stage.
When
Not too long ago,
yeah.
the president of the United States did make a point that he do not want gays and whatever and women in the military. So don't say at this day and age. He did say that.
He did. Well, you know anything? Claire,
I know that. I just
better
said he did say that. I don't want to hear the extra. I just say he said that. But
but,
I just saying what you said is not correct,
yeah.
because you cannot say at this day and age this, because he said he didn't. Okay? So this says the implicit biases among primary care physicians resulted in female patients receiving less accurate diagnoses, made with less confidence and less appropriate treatment recommendations than male patients, wrote the author, led by Megan Paxson Willing, a postdoctoral fellow, at the Center for Deployment Psychology at the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences. Women were diagnosed at more than twice the rate of men for anxiety disorders and adjustment disorders, and nearly 4 times the rate for personality disorders, a condition that is considered by the Defense Department and the Department of Veteran Affairs to have existed before military service and is not eligible for service-connected disability compensation. So even though you had a little bit of anxiety attack before you went into the army, and the army has enhanced it, they're saying that you would not be getting um, anything for it, like disability compensation. So again,
Oh, yeah?
that again is another blow for women in the military.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair to them.
What is fair?
No, I don't think that's fair to them at all. I don't think they should be going through that. I mean, well, that's very harsh on them that to take a position like that.
Mm-hmm. But
To
here it
me,
says, most notably, according to the Medical Surveillance Monthly Report, female service members were diagnosed with ADHD at rates 50% higher than male troops, a striking contrast to the diagnostic rate in the civilian population, where males are diagnosed with the disorder far more frequently than females, according to the researchers. So you see, even though males are more prone to that, women still are in the background, not getting the help that they need at the moment that they need it. The author said they decided to examine in theater mental health diagnosis because much of the research to date on mental health among deployed active duty service members has focused on post-deployment health assessment. They said focusing on after the fact data in lieu of diagnosis during deployment ignores a wealth of important information about the disease burden and resources necessary to care for deployed service members, the author of the study wrote. It says researchers examined data from various DoD personnel and health sources on 530 404,000 soldiers deployed to overseas contingency operations over the 6-year period. They felt that using this time frame would capture a period of frequent combat and combat support deployment. The report found that across the board, soldiers had the highest rate of diagnosis for anxiety, depression, adjustment disorders, post-traumatic disorder, ADHD, and alcohol or drug dependency disorders, and lower rates for eating disorders and sleep problems, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. So, Jester, you see, with all of that, men do go through the same and more of these complaints here than women. But women get the short end of the stick also. That is not fair. Not at
yeah, I
all.
agree. That's why a while ago I say, based on what you read out earlier, and I thought that was really harsh on women. I don't think they deserve that at all. Yeah,
And here when it
because of the
comes to other like other races and stuff, other background, ethnic background, it says according to the research, the case rates for nearly all the examined disorders were highest among non-Hispanic white soldiers. But Hispanic and Black soldiers received schizophrenic disorder, psychosis, and paranoia diagnosis at higher rates. So even in the army, we are still getting in there. Not a fair advantage at all. It says previous studies have found that female service members are medically evacuated from theater for mental health reasons at a rate of 64% higher than their male counterparts, and that women seek mental health treatment at a higher rate than males. And here's the point, perhaps because for the most part, they are more likely to discuss experiences and feelings and aren't dissuaded by the stigma associated with mental health treatment. So, with all that is going on, men are more stoic. They feel that they shouldn't be talking about that because this is going to make them weak. Whereas we, as women, We talk about it because we are asking or we are seeking assistance to be better people.
Sure. Agree.
What is there for you not to agree?
Eh, So you think
We
everything you read out, you know how to you at time I just challenge certain things? Oh,
we have, we have to change the trajectory of this thing, because if you're doing a job you're applied to do and you got it, you're supposed to be doing it without the backlash, the whatever, saying that you are not belonging here, you shouldn't be here, you should be giving up the cookies so that you could get more out of the job, or you could get better promotion or something. This is unfair. And when we come out
great.
from place with anxiety or mental issue, which is physical, emotional, or whatever it is, people look at us as being weak. But we do not only have to concentrate on the job that we have, we also have to concentrate on the sexual harassment and the sexual biases that takes place with us. Yeah.
I hate it for whatever reason. Even if on our normal way of living and a man wants to approach a lady, but he puts whatever valuables he has in front, or or assets to try and convince a woman. I things like that I'm so disgusted about. I somehow
You know,
it doesn't make me feel good at all. I don't like when this form of bribery are being used to try to convince a woman in whatever circles,
I'm sure that there are women listening to this right now, or men who are listening to it right now, know of a woman or know of someone, some female that is working somewhere that has gone through sexual harassment in the workplace. And if you are online and you're listening, just share your story. You don't have to say who you are, because it happens on a daily basis everywhere, in every workforce.
but
Every.
but we must, while at the same time too, there are some women who fall for it. There are some women who,
We are
many of them
humans.
fall for it.
We are humans and we are not perfect. So
Yes.
we hear about that harassment in the workplace. We hear about, but most times it depends on what you go to work for, or what your goal, your end goal in life is. So if I am going to a job where I want to reach at the top in a short space of time, and this is how I know I am going to get it, chances are I will do it. Let me tell you something. Before the Me Too thing came on, there are a lot of women that fell into the hands of men that sexually harassed them because they wanted to get to the top of where they wanted to go. They took the harassment, they took whatever it is, and that's, I have a problem with that. They took, and then when they get to where they want to go, then they put it that the man harassed them, the man sexually harassed them, and so. My thing is, if you do not like it from the beginning, stop it.
Agree with you. You
Stop it.
can reach
Do
the
not,
through it and then you come and complain after. No, it doesn't make
because
sense.
you
I
got
agree
where
with
you
you totally.
have to go, and no one can touch you now, so you're going to put it. So I'm saying, if you know this is not what you want, and somebody approaches you, knock it off right there and then. Do not
Yes.
make it look as though, well, okay, so okay, you can touch me, I can go on date with you and everything like that, and then at the end of it, you end up in jail as an old man. Some of us as women
But
has to
but
stop this.
but I feel so pleased again, as I say, hearing that they decide to make a move in coming up with a sexual harassment act to take to take care of what goes on in the workplaces. Trust me, that is a real good initiative. I applaud the government for coming up with that, because I believe a lot of men got away with things like that in the past, and against a lot of women will, and they had no way, they had no procedures to follow so as to deal with these things and them. So I'm happy knowing of that is in the making.
But hear this.
Yeah.
Even though there are laws, do you think there are not laws in the US and so for women going through sexual harassment? As it was mentioned before, they tell you to suck it up and move on. Or they will tell you, oh, you don't know who you're going up against. You would not be coming out on the good side. They frighten you into staying silent.
Yeah.
So even though they
Yeah.
pass a law, that doesn't mean that women are still going to get it, because it depends on who you know and who know you know.
Yeah.
And when if it happens and it reaches courts, then you will hear, well, did you have any interaction with him before? Did you tell him no? When you were having, when he was sexual harassing you, or he was having sex, did you get an orgasm? They ask you all these stupid questions in the court to make you feel like the victim all over again. When, well, not the victim, the person that initiates it, when you are the one that is going through the tough time. They make the man feel as though he had the right to do what he did to you. So even though they pass a law, I'm not saying no, the law may not help, but it doesn't mean that it will cure all of what's going on.
Claire, I respect women so much that protect their pride and their dignity. Trust me, you wouldn't imagine how much. And you see that young girl that died the last time there, that's
Mm-hmm.
the
In
Hippolyte
Tivoli,
girl.
mm-hmm.
No, the
The one
one
that got
from
raped.
St. David's. She died because she was prepared to protect her pride and her dignity.
Yes,
That's why
yeah.
she died.
Mm-hmm. She fought for
Yeah.
her life.
Oh yes. You know. Again, listeners and viewers, our number here is 404-1189. You can call us to be part of the conversation. We still have some time left.
And you know, just
So,
there are times that you're in a job and the sexual harassment is so hard that you decide you're not taking it anymore. You leave the job.
yes.
And that
Yeah.
is sad,
Them
because there's no way and no how you should be working in a place that you're not comfortable working to do what you're paid to do. It is wrong.
wrong. Then again, there are situations under which some women found themselves under. They doing it not because, or they did it not because they really wanted to do it, not with a clear conscience, but just because of the circumstances. That too, I'm aware of,
Uh-huh.
especially in like in the 60s, and when you hear, like women who had to get a bunch of fig, and these are the kind of things, a bunch of fig, a bunch of blogger to feed their family. The overseer will have
Circumstances that
sex
cause
with
that,
them
yeah.
to, yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
is just so sad. It was just so sad. Just so sad.
And believe me, we may not have plantation these days, but we have the army, we have the navy, we
Yeah,
have the
yeah,
military, we have workplaces. They're not
yeah.
holding cutlass and giving bunch of fig and so anymore. But positions are being
So,
held back because we're not giving up the cookie. So the next point we're going to do is career advancement challenges. It says women also face obstacles in career advancement within the military. They are significantly underrepresented in leadership positions, making up only about 7% of admirals and generals. High fitness standards for non combat roles can disproportionately hinder a women's promotions, and societal expectations regarding childcare further complicate their career trajectories. So, I don't have to explain that, right?
why not?
They
You
are
can explain it.
severely underrepresented to get leadership position.
Yeah.
So they said 7% of the whole army,
Wow, that's
women are
very, very
admirals and
low.
generals. And at the beginning, you heard me say that they yanked that position from that woman that was going to be a U.S. Navy SEAL director or whatever she is. So there's hardly any chance of women making it big in the army, but they have to face sexual harassment and so against them.
7%, boy.
7. SEVN, 7. 5 plus 2, 7%.
That is very, 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 very low.
Mm-hmm. Very. So the next one is sexual harassment and assault. Sexual harassment and assault remain pervasive issues within the military. Despite policy changes aimed at addressing these problems, many women still report feeling unsafe or unsupported when they come forward with allegations. This environment can lead to a lack of trust in the military system and contribute to higher attrition rates among female service members. So, Jester, even though you said you are happy that they are going to pass that law in the country, see what he says here? That doesn't mean anything.
But there would be loopholes. There is no perfect system in any case. There would be. Club, before you go on, somebody was asking, have you ever seen a woman police commissioner, especially in Grenada here?
Not in my lifetime, no.
You think
No.
that would happen anytime soon?
Well, as you say, women can fight and get whatever position that they want, but there's certain position that is off limit to women still. And when you look at it, you have to follow the trend of how it goes. If you have a superintendent, then you have the deputy of police, then you have the acting commissioner, and you have the commissioner, whatever the position go. I don't know. They're all men.
Yes.
All.
Man, yeah.
So there's hardly any chance of a woman making it into be a commissioner of police unless all the men did.
So badly.
Well, yeah. I'm being factual.
Did you really say that?
Uh-huh.
No, man.
Well, okay, just for all your life in Grenada, as you asked me the question, have you ever seen a woman come close to it?
No.
Now, be honest. Really think of it. Think of it.
No. I think before this woman must have reached already, maybe assistant superintendent. I don't
ASP?
think they go. Yeah.
If anybody knows of a superintendent of police that is a woman, let us know. Call us and let us know. Or if you know of any women at all that is on the verge of becoming the commissioner of police, let us know. Because it's a man's world.
Or any woman that have become or became ACP. ACP is Assistant Commissioner of Police.
Right. Any woman at all, let us know. Because we ain't seen that at all in the near future. Unless all the men dead.
Yeah, so there are some barriers yet to be broken by women. We never yet had a woman prime minister. And we just make mention of a woman commissioner of police. We haven't seen that yet.
And we may never in our lifetime.
We just never know.
Unless she give up the cookie one after the other, be a lot of cookie going up. We baking up there. You know.
You tell me that guy, right?
What?
Big Papa, big.
Unless we're baking.
Oh gosh, yes.
As my friend Lorna says, imagine a world where there will be no need for military, so women will not have to face all these challenges because there will be no wars and conflicts. This is the world we're looking for. No military. So
Yes.
women don't have to go through all of that.
So you know when that go happen, that happening in the second coming.
Of course. Of course. You know, when you really check it out, Jester, I mean, we're taking the point as we're smiling and all that, but really think about it. There are a lot of women in the RGPF. A lot of them that work really hard to get where they have to go, and some of them are being kept down because they're not giving up the cookie.
That's true.
Think of if they really give them the position because of the job that they have and the job that they are doing 100% of the time, where women will reach.
I knew of a woman that was going through that, and she got promotion
Not too long
just
ago.
not too long ago,
You and I were
and
together.
it wasn't because
She's
of
not
the
working.
harassment
No.
anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
recognize her for her true qualities
Mm-hmm.
in the force, and then
Mm-hmm.
she finally got that stripe on her shoulder.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So there are women either that can be the commissioner of police or the assistant commissioner of police, but it takes a while for them to get there. Maybe when by the time they get there, they're 60 and time to retire, right? Because they're
Yeah.
being kept down so hard. I mean, they're kneading flour on them, and then when they turn the cooking out and they start to bake, it's time to go out. It is sad because don't laugh, Jester, because there are a lot of women that can really,
Just the way
really.
you put in this thing, just make me laugh. They need in flour.
Yeah, they need flour to make cookie, and then when the cookie bake now, it's too late. They reach 60, they can make it again to be wherever they have to. Whereas the men just keep moving on, keep just rolling, and that's wrong. Okay.
Just so wrong.
So transitioning to civilian life. So now let's see, the women have left the army from all the harassment and everything. The end of the deployment, and they're home. So here what is bad again. Upon leaving the military, women often encounter unique challenges transitioning to civilian life. Many female veterans face difficulties such as homelessness, with rates among female veterans rising significantly in recent years. Economic instability, lack of affordable housing, and inadequate support system contribute to these challenges. So you go and you serve your country, right? We serve our country. We pick up arms and we make our country safe. And our deployment has ended. And we're home. And we are homeless. Is that just desert or is that poetic justice? What is that? Because aren't you supposed to take care of your people that comes from the army and serving your country? And it's not
Who's
isolated
that?
to only women, but we are talking about women in the military. Because men go through the same thing too. Before
Of
somebody
course,
jump up
women.
and say, I'm talking about women, we're talking about women in the military today.
The emphasis is on women.
Yeah.
Well,
Chance the game
to
said
be
we had a
frank,
governor general. Yeah, we have a great governor general, but the governor general is not we're talking about the RGPF, the police. How the women are being promoted, you know? The governor general is not appointed by the RGPF, is it? They're appointed by the English government, isn't it?
no, but yeah, they on the advice of the prime minister, they are being
Right. So it's not
appointed.
really the police. Right. So Jester,
No,
you
no,
see,
not at all.
after you serve your time in the army, you go through all of the sexual harassment as you come and you're homeless. And that make you face more sexual harassment because you're on the road now, you have nowhere to stay. You meet those on the road that are male and they sexual assault you on the side of the road also.
And to me, that is one of the first set of people that you're supposed to look after and make sure the well-being is very well taken care of. I mean, mm,
So here it
to-
says, since women make up 17% of the armed forces, the DoD should consider implementing unique policy, training, and clinical intervention. These results emphasize the crucial need for in-theater behavioral health providers to be competent in the delivery of effective short-term treatment for stress, anxiety, depression, and sleep disruption, Paxton Willing wrote. Further, these findings may contribute to the development of new policies and interventions to better prepare, support, and treat soldiers during deployments. So, when they come from the army or the navy or wherever they go to, and they're coming back home after they finish their service, as you said, they should be the number one people to be protected and give places to stay and treatment that they need. But most time than not, they end up in places that they're not supposed to be.
all right, Claire. So we're due for our next break, so you could just hold your point for when we get back.
Okay?
So, so our listeners and viewers will take a break and we'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. Stick around.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 925-4463. Email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond.
We get ready as Idol City Sports presents its 6th annual football ice competition. Roselle Plainfield in St. Patrick kicks off from Sunday, February 15th and ends on Saturday, 2nd May. Get ready for intense football competition. All teams will be able to register 20 players. Players must be in uniform and numbered. Registration fee, senior $400. Under 17 enters free. Cash prizes up for grabs. First place winner in the senior category will walk away with $4,000. And the first place winner in the under 17 category walks away with $1,800. Second place, $3,000. And under 17, $1,500. Individual prizes. Who will dethrone the defending champion? Shall all under the lights. For more information, contact Redhead at 538-7509 or Philip 406-9580. No unauthorized vending allowed. Single game will be played on Wednesdays from 6:30 p.m. and doubleheader games on the weekend.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463.
Brand new day. Got some things I need to say. Feeling not alone. Take 5 you're in the voices come what's the care. Two good friends always there. The sun in your face and hope you're sure to find. We'll take we'll see in Jester. Talking truth, in pressure. Every Tuesday, 10 to
We welcome back our listeners and viewers to this very interesting conversation on the Mental Health Show entitled Take 5 for today, Tuesday being the 24th of March 2026. And let me tell you, we have turned the banner on the we are not
Not hearing you.
Okay.
Claire, you hear me?
I'm hearing you now.
Right, so let's take it away, girl. We're into the home stretch, as I stated.
How are we? It says effects of deployment on children and family. So we talked about the women in the army and the military. Now we're talking about the impact it has on the children when they are deployed to the war zones. It says deployment is heart wrenching for all military families, but especially for those with children. And we could understand that. Even though we are not going to the army and we leave our children behind and travel, the impact that it has on us is not an easy feeling. So think about you are going to the army or you're going to the military or you're going to war and you leave your child behind or you're leaving your children behind, your husband behind. Think about how heart-wrenching that can be. As one parent tries to take on both parenting roles and cope with not having a partner for a long stretch of time, the children have their own stress issues. So I'm going to war. I'm leaving you behind, Jester, with the children. How do you think I'll feel really? Or how do you feel? And how do you think the children are feeling?
So there we see that it's a mental strain for the the parent going to war, and yet there's still a mental strain for the children knowing that the parent are involved in the war. So it goes both ways.
That's for sure. It says toddlers may not understand why mom or dad isn't there for bedtime. School age children may worry mom and dad will be hurt. Teenagers dealing with these usual adolescent issues may have anger that mom or dad have to live in the first place, along with new household responsibilities. Although deployments will never be easy, there are some steps from the American Academy of Pediatrics to make things a little less stressful on the home front. But I'm saying children are going to miss their parents regardless of what American Academy of Pediatrics says. Because they can tell you that okay, mom is going this and dad is going that, and they're going to come back. But no one is certain that when you go to war, you are going to be coming back home. And even though you come back
That's it.
home, you would not be coming back home as you left. So it puts a lot of stress on the parents for one, and the children that are waiting back home for the mom or the dad to come back.
Yeah, it's not an easy situation. It's really not an easy situation. Because I remembered sometime in the 70s, and myself and Clarence Houston, we are good pal. He's an undertaker in America now,
Hmm.
Houston's funeral. And I remember he had his bigger brother
Yeah,
died
his
in the
brother died.
Vietnam War.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that was, oh man.
That was the first time I think
I,
Grenada had somebody that was in the army that died, and they had to bring them back home. That
yeah,
I could remember.
yes, that was just so sad.
Hmm.
Okay, there is a comment there that was there only, and then I could see this person outreach coming in from NP. They
Hmm.
could keep their money and their positions, and I will die with my dignity. There is also another comment coming out from that person, and they does wonder why some women hate men so much. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you read it? I read it too. I just didn't say anything. Ah, yes. Because when you see you go through this sexual harassment from men, you get raped, you get whatever, you get degraded, and everything of that sort. And then the law that you said that they're going to be passing Jester is still
Yeah,
against us. And the men walk freely and we walk with shame. This is why
yeah,
a lot of women go through and do what they do because we got no justice. We got no
yeah.
satisfaction.
Talking about shame, yeah, a lot of women in the past were sexually harassed, insulted, and raped, and they kept it inside
Hmm.
because of the shame. They didn't have that boldness enough, that fearlessness in them to come forward. That used to happen many years ago. But I believe some women are much more brave nowadays, right? In exposing men who rape them and sexually assault them and things. And I think it's because of the sensitization programs we have nowadays on, asking women to break the silence of these sort of things.
But to just when a woman got raped before, who are they going to complain to that will believe them really?
That's the sad thing to it, Claire.
Because you
That
go and
was
you
a
say this
sad
person did
thing.
that to you, and they
Yeah.
look at you and you lie. You are the one that attracted, and you got no satisfaction. So in that case, you keep it for yourself.
Especially if it was like a family member, in cases of incest and sort of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I mean, everything was going against you as a female. Whether it's somebody that touched you, somebody that sexually assaulted you, somebody that really raped you, and everything like that, you had no one to really say to, so that because no one believed you. And then you see that person must have died by suicide or they become promiscuous, and everybody is judging you and say, "Oh, that little girl is a hoe. That little girl is a this." No one knows what that person has inside of them because we didn't say to anybody. So with all the thing, that's why the person says that's why some women hate men that much because no one listened to them.
There's a
I-
next comment here. How can you get justice
when you have to go
when
complain
it's
to a
a
man,
man you have to go and complain to?
and men stand up for men.
Yes, yes. And that that
Mm,
that 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 person is so correct in what they
yes,
are saying. I know exactly where they are coming from with
because here the
this.
first thing they will tell you, they do not know you from Adam, right? You go and you complain to them, and according to how you dress, they will tell you, oh, because of the way you dress, you were attacked. Because of the way you
Yeah.
carry yourself, you're attacked. That has nothing to do with nothing. And it's about time we women get to realize that no one's supposed to put a hand on you regardless of how you dress or how you act. It's not their place and you did not give them permission.
Yes. I do agree totally.
Right. I'm glad that you agree. So the law that you say they pass in there, maybe you should go on board and let them know that when they make that law and women come forward to complain about not giving up the cookie to get the positions, you tell them the women are working hard in the position that they give them the promotion. Get them on. Just saying.
Gosh. Hmm. So let's move on.
Oh, we're moving on. Okay, let's move on.
The time is 11:44. That's 16 minutes on the upswing to 12, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen.
So it says here
Yeah.
to educate yourself before deployment. And that is for women as well as men. Because remember, the children are at risk here. Before a parent is deployed, one of the most beneficial thing to do is to educate yourself. There are many programs and other resources available to inform family members about what to expect with deployment, possibly feelings and reactions of the home front caregiver and children as the deployment begins, and things to expect as the service member return from deployment. If you're prepared about what to expect, you won't feel so thrown for a loop and will be better equipped to handle it if you or your child has a difficult time with the deployment. So it's saying that if you prepare yourself knowing that you're going to war and you prepare yourself, it may be a bit easier for you or your children to handle your missing in action. It says identify your circle of support. Who will you turn to for advice or help or just to talk about what's going on in your parenting? Seek support from counselors, physicians, family and friends, faith communities, and others who can help you see what you are doing well and to connect you with more support when needed. Share and listen. Probably the most important thing you can do to help alleviate some of your child's deployment related stress is to talk about it with them and listen. Be open to answering your child's question in a straightforward and age appropriate way as possible. And remember, your child is watching your reactions. You don't have to suppress your own feelings. But if your kids see you really stressed and falling apart, they may echo your reaction. So it's saying now that if you're going to be deployed or when you're going to be deployed, there are a few things that you can do to prepare yourself and you prepare your children for that role. And it says, tell them the truth. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to their fears. Communicate well with them and tell them things based on their age group. So you can't tell them, well, dad is going to the war with a machine gun and somebody's going to throw a tomahawk at them and dad may not come back. You cannot say these things. You have to make them feel safe. You have to make them feel that I'm going to come home. But in the meantime, grandma and grandpa, uncle and auntie is going to be there for you. Right? And that making you feel good about yourself also. You were saying something there?
That might be for younger children, but children that are big enough who have the understanding, they know that any point in time.
As it says, teenagers, they know the difference. And here it says, and don't forget to put your own oxygen mask first. You don't have to be a superhuman. Think of a flight attendant who instructs us to put on an oxygen mask before putting on one on our precious child. We can't take care of our child if we cannot breathe ourselves. You can't be expected to be calming force for a family or even to be able to listen while you remain in crisis mode or are wearing yourself thin. You will know you are ready to talk to your children when your adrenaline has run its course. Maybe you need to cry or scream it out yourself. Talk to someone to sort through your own emotions about the situation. Reach out to service providers like the American Red Cross for help. Then, when you can think more clearly, you can talk with your children in the calm, reassuring way that will help all of you regain your footing. Maintain closeness. Although the deployed parent is far away, he or she can maintain close in the kids' hearts. A stuffed animal, necklace from mom, or a t-shirt with dad's photo on it can go a long way in helping the child feel close to the deployed parent. Some other ways to maintain closeness are pointing out on a map where the deployed parent is, letting the child send emails, cards, and letters to the parent, preparing care packages, and even jotting down family life and hometown changes in a journal to keep the absent parents updated. So when you're being deployed, all of these things that they're saying is to prepare you and your children. But you cannot be a mass of nerves telling them that it's going to be okay when you yourself are not okay.
Yeah, and one of the persons online was making the comment that some children do turn out to be rebellious
Well,
as
yes,
a
for sure.
result of this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So it says, home sweet home. Although it may seem the child's stress should be disappear when the deployed parent return home, it may actually increase because the parent may return with physical or mental health issues, or the child may not want to get too close to the parent to avoid the pain of saying goodbye again if the parent is redeployed. If you notice your child's stress remains or increases after the deployed parent returns, individual counseling and family counseling may help. So you see, there's a lot going on, Jester. So the
Yes.
parent, the parent went away, and they say that you can do all of this: get a T-shirt, get a necklace, get a soft toy, do all that to remember that they are there, or to remember that your children are there. To keep in touch by emails, by cards, letters, all this thing. Okay, the parent is back home, and that's another stress again, because the children, when the parent come home, they may come back with PTSD. They may come back with an arm missing or a leg missing or something missing. That is not how my mom and dad left when they were going to war, when they were deployed. So the parents come back not whole as the children expected them. So that is another stress. And if they come back whole, then the child is afraid to get close to the parent now, because chances are the parents will be redeployed again. So they would not be in their life again. So you see the mental impact that going women in the military can have on the family and themselves.
Oh, yes. It's always nice and easy to say welcome, but it's so difficult and heartbreaking to say goodbye. That is what I know for sure. I understand that too well from a very early age.
Who went in the army and left you home?
No, it's not an army situation. Yeah, we just we you talking about the army now, but in almost
I
in
know.
all situation,
Yes, yes. I've been I've been
it's
I've been
nice and
a,
easy to welcome.
a product of that. I've been a product of the saying
So
goodbye.
that also is in line to the point you were making a while ago there, so that when that person just so happen to come back home and they make themselves accustomed to the family members again, and then they have to pick up and leave for another warfare again.
It
You
is
know,
not a pretty thing.
so
It is not.
yeah,
And
yes,
then,
yeah,
as someone said, the children, they become rebellious. Some of them hate their parents because it's like, you're never there to hear when I'm going through puberty. You're never there when I'm having my menstrual cycle. You're never there when I had my first girlfriend or my first boyfriend. You're never there to see me graduating school. Nothing. So
yeah,
that leaves a real mental impact on children. And not only the child, the parent too, because you think they're not over there saying, okay, my son is going to go be graduating next week, or my daughter is getting married and I can't leave because they're in the war
yeah.
zone. So it is
Oh
not, it's
yes,
not a win-win situation at all.
the stress have certainly been pointed out to our listeners and viewers.
It is. And I mean, even though we are not in the army ourselves, but we see the devastation that can take place among the people that are there.
Yeah,
As you mentioned, Clarence Hosted and his brother Clifford that died in Vietnam. And I
yeah.
think his brother Christopher went into the army just the same way too after that.
Christopher went.
Uh-huh.
No man, no,
Uh-huh.
don't make joke. Because I remember Christopher used to be the manager of Corp Bank down here. You know? So when he traveled after, did he go to the army? Like seriously,
Mm-hmm.
are you sure? But
He's still in the reserves if I have it right. Yeah, he went to the
oh
army.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
he,
But
he
you see
has
now,
real guts.
Before,
Knowing what went on with his brother and still
yeah,
went in the army, boy.
he's alive. That's right. Well, let me put it this way for you. There was a time when people used to go to the army because that was the only way that they can get an education to be something that they wanted to be. Because most of them, the parents did not have the money to send their children to colleges and universities and all that stuff. And if you look at it, if you look at the army, they say, as they say, it's poor people, children that goes to the army. Rich people do not send their children to the army because they can afford.
Yeah.
So it's poor people, children that go to the army. And there was a time that you could have joined the army and come out being okay because you know there was no wars and so. But now is not a good time for anybody to take themselves and put into the army because the world is at war and chances are you will be deployed.
Okay. Claire, just to give you an update on the time, we have three
I see
minutes
the time
left
is
on the program.
11:56. And don't think I'm not paying attention.
But I wonder why that girl is like that. So do you have to say it so harsh? My
Yes,
gosh.
because you think I'm not aware. So, in conclusion, you see, conclusion. The challenges faced by women in the military are multifaceted and deeply rooted in both culture and structural issues. Addressing these challenges is crucial not only for the well being of female service members, but also for the overall effectiveness and the readiness of the military as a whole. Continued efforts to improve conditions, support systems, and policies are essential for fostering an inclusive and environment for all service members. So that is it, the end of it. They have to do something to make it more effective for women to be ready to go to the military and not face sexual harassment from the male counterparts.
Yeah, I really wish it could have happened that way, but as you say, it even if as they're planning to come up with this act, they usually find loopholes. Yeah, understand what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
Claire, as we're about to wrap up, again, I want to say a special thank you to our listeners and viewers for sacrificing yet another Tuesday morning of theirs to join our program
Mm-hmm.
where we enlighten our listeners and viewers, and we do benefit as well from the program.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I am looking to be with them again next week, Tuesday, God's will, for another interesting program
Part
on the
three.
mental health
Mm-hmm.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you now.
Well, before I leave, I'd like to say, my condolences go to the two pilots for the the Canadian Air Canada flight that landed in not JFK, LaGuardia yesterday morning. The two pilots lost their lives because they had a big impact with a fire truck on the runway. The two pilots died. One flight attendant was ejected in her seat. Miraculously, she is saved. So my condolences go to all the families out there in Toronto for that unbearable thing that happened right here. It made big news. Just I don't know if you heard it, but
Oh,
there was
yeah,
72
that
on
flight
board. 41 went to the hospital. Some of them are still in the hospital. Even the
was
people on
that
the
flight
fire
coming
truck, they
from
got,
Montreal?
yes, the flight from Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was,
wow.
and here what ironic about it. 34 years ago on that same date, a plane crashed right there in LaGuardia, and a lot of 32 people died. Same date.
Oh my
So my
gosh.
condolences go to them. Yeah. And let me say
Yes,
thank you
well,
to each and every one of you for checking in online. And what I have to say, enjoy the life the best way you know how, because life is so short. It's a twinkling of an eye, we are gone.
yeah.
So thank you all so very much for checking in, and we'll see hopefully next week with part 3 of Stresses of Life. Thank you all.
Oh, yeah.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you so much, Claire. It
Bye
was a
bye.
pleasure indeed again.
Yes.
Yeah.
space just
Just
for
for you.
take
Take
it
your
for granted.
thoughts, take your time.
We're here
Let it realign
your
your mind.
take.
Take five,
You're
you're
not
not
alone.
alone.
See,
DJ
they
and
just
Jester
bring
bring
you
you
home.
home.
It's okay to not be okay. Let's talk it out, don't drift away. Mental health and matters. So coming close and raise a toast to the ones who bite each day. To the silent words they never say. You're strong, you're seen, you're truly heard. Got your back, you got our word.
Jester,
Oh, take five.
turn up the music for a minute.
Just talking truth, then pressure.
So someone just sent a note that says, on another note, it has been an excellent program and a topic. And I'll tell you, come from across the sea. So I salute. Ha!
Come from across the seas.
Across the seas. The farmers, the farmers. My
Oh,
farmers across the seas. Electrical work done. Listen, you're so dense.
oh,
Yes.
oh, 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 there she goes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm so
Thank you so
happy.
very much.
Yeah, because I know she could be so critical, eh?
Yes,
So
yes, but she
watch,
give us that we're taking it.
yeah, 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 yeah. Thanks so much.
Yes, yes. All
So
right.
Claire, we'll catch up, girl.
Okay, play the music. I want to finish dancing.
Girl, what are you? Oh,
To space and time, open space, just for you. Take, take your time. We're here, mind,
Nine.
take time. CJ and Jessica, bring you home. Laugh, we cry, we share the ride, no judgment, just love and light. You've got it's right here, stay. So take five and heal today. Take five with CJ and Jester, talking truth.